Hello, this is Bobby with Propel TV Repair with a video today that serves two separate purposes, but mostly one. This is a Samsung BN44-00330A, and it was purchased from us by a customer, but it arrived broken. And because the damage was in this corner, how did it arrive broken in a box like that? It's really a mystery. And because it is large enough to be well cushioned on both sides. But anyhow, I'm not discussing the damage. That happens often enough. But we were lucky that the crack was actually here on the AC inlet, and what was broken was the the ground and two of the inputs for the main AC. The crack, as it goes from here through here. Basically, those two are cracked, and that was really lucky. Now, if something happens on actually both corners, all three corners here, but look at this one. If it was that one, we could have had a whole lot more work. It would have been really hard if a crack happens from here through here with all those data signals that go to the main IC. Those are feedback or controlling, whatever they are, low voltages, but lots of them, tiny space and everything. And with this one here, it was a no-brainer. We don't bother with insurance, doing that with the USPS, and honestly with FedEx and UPS is also hell. Instead, just tell customer, send it back, we'll fix it. In this case, it was only those two, the way it looks on top. As you can see where the crack goes, but nothing really serious is affected in any way. And what I'm going to show now is that if I plug in AC in it, it will hopefully come up and work. It was serviced by somebody else here, so the truth is I have not tested that board before. It was just marked that it was fixed and ready to go, and I'm looking for cables that will let me help test it, unless it auto powers on till the end. I mean by default all the way up, and this is something that we are about to see. This is the cable. I'm gonna get that on the grounding signal here. Get it out of the way. Get this. Plug it in, and basically, if a power supply board from a plasma TV produces VS, then usually it is fine. Now, this one, upon plugging AC, did nothing. I believe what it needs is, let me see what we have here, 3.3 volts, nobody. What we are looking for is something that is called standby. It's the second pin on this connector. So here it says, the first one is PS on, and the second one is standby. Standby is the power that is being provided always when the TV is on. It's a low voltage, low power, low current voltage that is needed for a very tiny piece on the main board, which is basically keeping the TV awake and watching if the main turn on will power on. The main turn on that board is indicated by a PS on signal, and for Samsung boards it's a high state, meaning above 2.6, 3.8 in this case, and the board will be activated. I believe the same can be found on this connector. If you read those, you will find it. 1, 2, 3 PS on is not the second. No, the second. And the power board is being awakened and getting ready to work when it is being when the PS on signal is being shorted to ground, as shown in many other our videos. Now, if you bear with me for a second, I'm gonna get a pair of jumpers here, and those are just regular wires, and I'm getting something that is PS on, which is the very first pin here. Pardon the quality of the video, but I don't see well, and I'm just leaning back. So it's one of those two, and I don't know which one, but I know it has to go to ground, and the board should click when it does. This is ground. Okay, hold on a second. PS on, that is PS on. Unless it does not have a relay. No, it does have two of them. There you go. So that's the ground. What I need to do is find a ground so that I can reliably stick that on. This looks like a good ground here. Ground, ground. There you go. Now, let's see if we have some other voltages. First, let's see that the PS on is grounded. It is. Now, a bunch of other voltages should show up here. Those, the big ones, they shouldn't, but the small one, like the 15 volts, it should. And there you go, you have the 15 volts as given in this connector. You still do not have VS and VA. And the reason for that is VS and VA are on a separate switch. It's called VS on. Let me see, it is, I believe, the bottom one here. That's where it is. And it requires 5 volts in order for VS and VA, which are the two voltages for the plasma panel, the one that's on the horizontal grid and the one on the vertical grid, to activate it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 here are 5.3. Actually it has a whole lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's easier actually. The 12th one is also 5.3, so we're just gonna get it from there. Alright, if this connection is right, and I hope it is, what we should have here on the VS is 207 or something like it, 206.6. Alright, that is how we turn on the VS after the power board was turned on, and there is the VA. 53.37 stable. That is all, because honestly we didn't need the VA and VS, because the problem with the board was the AC inlet, but it's good enough, and we know that they're out there. A proper test of the board would be to load all those, to load the board, but it's taking more time. It's going to be useless. In this case, this board is restored, and we're going to ship it back. Hope that helps the customer and possibly somebody else. Thank you.